For many years, EHEDG exclusively developed guidelines and testing programs for inline food processing equipment. And for many years, the experts said it could not be done for open food processing equipment. But now EHEDG has proven that it can be done because EHEDG has developed a new EHEDG guideline document on the cleanability of open food processing equipment, and consequently also a new EHEDG certification program based on this guideline. So I'm talking today with the chair of the working group that developed this new exciting guideline for EHEDG. His name is Andy Timperley. Andy, great to have you here.
Yes, we're very happy, Rob. It's been a long journey.
Now, how did you approach this challenge of developing this entirely new type of cleanability test and the guideline that comes with it?
Basically, we tried to make the method usable at every different testing location that intend to offer this OPC test, open plant cleaning test. We had to consider a lot about ambient environmental conditions, how we control humidity and temperature to make sure that all the soiling parameters remain consistent, so it didn't matter which laboratory you went to. So we had to look very carefully at all the things that might affect the results between the different laboratories and build in sufficient controls within the methodology to make the test as repeatable as it is and reproducible between the laboratories.
Well, I guess these EHEDG authorized testing laboratories play a pivotal role in offering the industry this opportunity to actually certify their open process equipment, right? That was the request, and wasn't that also the reason to develop this guideline in the first place?
Oh, absolutely, yes. This was the fundamental reason for formulating document 57 in the first place. EHEDG recognized many years ago that we had a niche in the market because of our performance-based certification scheme, which was supported obviously by test methods. We realized that we needed a test for other categories of equipment, open and dry and things like tanks. So we're always looking at developing methodologies, and document 57 really came about because of the need for manufacturers to verify open plant cleanability.
So this new EHEDG guideline document 57 and the corresponding EHEDG certification program will ultimately enable food processing companies to buy EHEDG certified food processing equipment for open food processes, right?
Yes, indeed.
In what ways will this new EHEDG guideline document help the equipment producers, so the producers of the open food processing equipment, to design and develop food processing equipment that is eligible for EHEDG certification? What is in it for them? What do they need to know?
The equipment producers need to know the parameters under which their equipment will be evaluated and potentially certified. So they need to know how the test works and what the soiling method is, the drying method, and more importantly, the cleaning method, because they have a prerequisite to provide equipment that is actually suitable for wet wash down. So we don't really want to be shorting things out and sensors stopping working because they're not actually waterproof.
Now, in the past year or two, the EHEDG community has followed your efforts to overcome various challenges to develop this new open process cleaning and open plant cleaning test method. And you managed to do it now, and you put all your findings in the guidelines. So I guess that if we want to know how you will perform these tests, how the testing laboratories are going to do that, we should probably just download and look into the guideline. But can you just give us a little sneak preview of how the test laboratories approach this in a technical manner?
Well, fundamentally, in order to evaluate something for cleanability, you need to look at how a soil is removed from the surface. So the test is very logical. First of all, you need to make sure the test item is pre-cleaned. So there's nothing on it that's going to give us a false positive result. So that's the preparation and conditioning of the components. It needs to be clean and dry. We then need to mix the soil in a controlled way, step 2, and apply it in a controlled way. Once we've then conditioned that soil for a certain amount of time, it's all described in the method, we would then perform the actual cleanability test using the 3-axis robot to move around the envelope of the test item and give it a controlled clean. After that procedure is the assessment, which is step 5, and that's when we shine the black light on and look for any hot spots where residual soil has not been removed by stage 4.
Sounds like a trustworthy testing and certification procedure to me, but just one follow-up question on this last phase, this assessment phase. When you assess data, images in this case, you analyze data, you basically interpret data, right, against something, against a standard in order to decide if a component gets a certificate or not, right? So how do you do that? What analysis method did you use in this procedure?
Yeah, we've used a similar analysis protocol to document 2. If we have soil collecting and showing residuals in the same area every time, then we highlight that as an uncleanable or a less cleanable area on the equipment.
Last question. At the very end of this guideline document, we find a list of key learning points. Would you want to tell us what that list is intended for? Who is it intended for? And what can we do with these learning points?
Yeah, I mean, that's really for training purposes. We try to draft test methods and verification certification within a suite of lectures for equipment designers, and this will probably go to add the OPC method into the presentation for validation certification.
Andy, what about those watching here that might not have the technical expertise that you and your fellow working group members have, but still want to know if their equipment, for example, is eligible for this new EHEDG certificate? How should they approach this?
Well, that's why we have 12 or 13 AEOs, if you include probationary. They are the people who are tasked with the design review. That really is done between the equipment manufacturer and the authorized evaluation officer.
Thank you, Andy Timperley, chairman of the EHEDG working group that developed this new important EHEDG guideline 57. And also thank you to all of your fellow EHEDG working group members. Their names are, it's just 10, Knut Lorentzen, Mark Mauermann, Max Hesse, Tracy Schoenrock, Irene Lorca, Rafael Soro, Nicolas Rossi, Sausen Dane, Andy Timperley himself, and last not least, Enrico Fuchs. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your contributions to this step forward in food safety. See you next time.